Okay, here are the mini key rings or keychains of the Star Wars, the Clone Wars figures. They're not Hasbro products. I think somebody else did these figures. I can't remember what, but they're very nice. They're made of the same soft rubbery plastic mixed with really hard ones and brittle ones, and each one has a sort of a mini chain and key ring attached on the back. Figures are non-poseable. Most of them can stand. There are a few that can't, primarily because of the mold or the actual figure warping. The limbs are actually warping, which is I think a faulty design of the mold, but hey, they're all pretty good. I didn't want to buy them at first on retail because they were going for something like $2.50. I didn't think they were worth that because a lot of them were really goofy looking figures because of the paint on the face, and I just think they weren't worth that money, that kind of money. But $2.50 anyway. But we're talking about a lot of figures right here. Just this month, November 2010, out here in Manila, these guys went on clearance, and it was a major price discount. From $2.50, they're now being sold for $1.10. So for $1.10 each, I mean that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. Anyway, and I figured I picked a few. I picked a couple of them, like some of the Jedi, some of the clone troopers, some baddies, and I got hooked. I saw another shop that was selling almost the entire set. I went ahead and got a couple more, and I just wanted to complete the entire set. If you remember my old review of Kit Fisto, the second version, the Clone Wars Kit Fisto version 2, I actually showed, I don't have him now, but a Nadar Veb figure, and that Nadar Veb figure is part of this collection. I didn't want to get him in this video because, well, I already showed him to you guys, and if you want to see it, you can go check out my Kit Fisto video. But he's just way too deep inside the, way too deep in my one of my Clone Wars shelves, and I'm just too lazy to get him, so I'm not showing him. So I do apologize, but you get the idea. He's probably my favorite among all the good guys, as well as this guy, the Yoda figure. This is probably the best one yet, together with Nadar Veb. They actually look like, it's so accurate, and the paint apps on their faces, and they don't look too goofy. Yeah, so Yoda and Nadar Veb are probably the best for the good guys. As for the bad guys, they're okay. Perhaps my favorite would be this guy, Count Dooku. Not my favorite character, not my favorite bad guy in the show, on the show, but with all the figures shown here, he's probably the best sculpted one, and hardly any paint defects on this guy. It doesn't look too goofy. So there, I have almost everybody. I'm only missing one figure, and it is the repaint of this figure. This is R2K7, something like that. R2K7 or R2KT or something like that. I can't remember. An R2 droid as well. I'm missing R2D2. I've never found him. Every time he probably didn't even make the clearance sale. He probably was the first figure to get bought. But I never saw him. If I get lucky, I'll make sure to let you guys know. So just a quick rundown of who we have. Let's start with the bad guys. We've got Cad Bane. It's pretty good sculpt. It's a pretty good sculpt, but the back part of his cloak is just way too soft, and the figure just has a hard time standing up, and it's a shame, really. I wish they could have made the back part a little bit sturdy so he can't stand up. Another figure that can't stand up is the Magna Guard. I really like this figure because very well detailed. The only problem is that the legs are so thin they got warped, much like the actual action figure, and he can't stand up, so he's gonna have to lean on the wall behind him. Then we have the IG Assassin droid. The tag just said assassin droid, so he could be definitely an IG droid. I thought at first this was poseable because it looked like, but it's not. He can stand up, but the slightest push will topple him up. But at least he can stand, not like Cad Bane. Then we have Ganacht, the pirate. He's pretty cool. The only problem is I'm not a big fan of this figure, of this character, but he stands very well. Big feet, very nice. Then we have the General, Warm Loathsome. No gun, it's a shame. He can stand up. Bit top heavy, but he can stand up. Then we have the other General Grievous. And what I like about this figure, despite the lack of posability, because none of them are posable, obviously, is that his feet are made of very sturdy, rubbery plastic, not like the actual action figure, the Clone Wars action figure. This guy can actually stand up with no help at all. I mean, I've had him on this tabletop for a couple of days, no warping whatsoever, despite the change in temperature of this room. No warping, no nothing. I mean, he just stands perfectly. And I think, if you're looking for a Grievous that can stand up, this might be a good candidate. Finally, we've talked about Dooku already, so we have Ventress. I like Ventress, one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite baddies on the show, but she just looks like an alien, like a Martian with this sculpt, and she's holding the lightsaber in a way that I'm not sure if she's actually held her lightsaber this way, like Ahsoka. I've always seen her holding the lightsaber with the hilt up, with the blade up. But who knows? Maybe she does hold it that way. Now for the good guys. On the back we've got the Clone Troopers. These are pretty good. I actually like them. The only problem I have with them is that they've got really crappy paint apps on the helmets. And this one is the best. Cody's the best. Then Rex, and then Thyre. Thyre has the worst paint apps. I don't know why. It's not Hasbro, but somebody else. But they're pretty good. I like them. Okay. Then we have Plo Koon, Master Plo. Very nice. Not as goofy looking as the others. Nice lightsaber. And he stands very well. Then we have Luminara Unduli. Or Unduli. Very nice. Not as goofy looking. A little bit goofy looking at some angles, but she's fine. She's missing her chin tattoo. Oh. Well, you can always add it. Use a light marker or something like that. Very nice, very cool. She's very stable because of a wide base. Her cloak forms a really wide base. Oh, Master Plo fell. Okay, then we have Mace Windu. This guy really looks like an alien, much like Ventress. Look at that. Looks like a Martian or a really like one of those Looney Tunes cartoon characters. Looks funny, but good pose. So pretty cool. Okay, then we have Aayla Secura. This figure cannot stand. I tried everything. She just can't. Legs are just too warped to actually stand. But very nice sculpt. Very goofy looking Twi'lek face right there. But very nice. We'll stand her up right there. Then we have Master Kit Fisto. Very cool. I like this one. He'll stand up very well with an Adar Veb figure if you have one. He's got both lightsabers. Cool. And then we have Anakin Skywalker, which I already showed you. Very nice. He stands up very well. Not the best pose, but he's okay. I like this one, Obi-Wan. He's posed very well, but he looks constipated with his face, so very nice. Okay. Then we have Ahsoka Tano. Not as goofy looking as I had expected, but very nice. Paint apps suck. Lots of overlaps here and there. And then C-3PO. He can barely stand. You have to sort of widen his stance a little bit, and he can balance himself on one foot. He's probably the worst in the entire lot. 3PO. and then the R2 droid, and finally Yoda. I think this is so nice. I've seen some in the first season of Star Wars. I've seen some promotion materials with Yoda with this pose. So this is really my favorite, the entire lot. Very lucky. I still found him on clearance. So there you go. I didn't mean to extend this video far too long, longer than what I intended to. But they're very nice collectible pieces. They're not posable, but they're just nice to maybe have on your shelf, maybe at work, or you can actually use them as keychains. I'll probably just get rid of the chains and just unscrew them, and then I'll just like what I did with Nadar Veb, and then just display them as regular figures. So if you're in Manila, if you can still find these guys, they're a great deal for $1.10. There you go, the Star Wars Clone Wars mini keyring set of the good guys and bad guys, non-posable keychain figures. Thanks for watching.